You want love. You want connection. You want to feel close, to be understood, seen, chosen. But somehow, the people closest to you pull back or drift away or stay, but never get too close. And maybe, just maybe, it's something you're saying. Not intentionally. Not maliciously. But out of fear. Out of defense. Out of old survival habits you didn't even realize were still active. The truth is, words shape intimacy. Not just what we say, but how, when, and why we say them. In this video, we're exploring 9 subtle things you say that silently push people away, even when you desperately want to pull them close. This isn't about blame. It's about awareness. Because once you recognize these patterns, you can start to rewrite them. Let's begin. Phrase 1, I'm fine. You're not. But you say it anyway. Maybe your heart is aching. Maybe you feel let down, disappointed, overwhelmed. But instead of saying the truth, you shut it down with 2 words, I'm fine. Why? Because vulnerability feels dangerous. Because you've learned that expressing pain means being dismissed. Because you think being low maintenance makes you more lovable. But here's the problem. When you constantly say I'm fine, people stop asking. And eventually, they stop trying. You don't build intimacy by pretending you don't need anything. You build it by letting someone see you, especially when you're not okay. Your emotions aren't a burden. Your needs aren't too much. And saying I'm fine when you're not only teaches people to love the mask, not you. Phrase 2, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're hurt. But instead of saying it, you deflect. You act like you don't care. You shut down the conversation. You protect yourself by pretending their actions had no impact. This is emotional armor. And it comes from a very real place. From being invalidated. From being told you were too sensitive. From learning that your feelings created conflict. But here's the cost. You create emotional distance. When you say whatever, what you're really saying is, I'm scared to show you how much that affected me. I don't trust that you'll care. I've been hurt before, so I'd rather disconnect than risk it again. And the more you disconnect, the more others feel like they can't reach you. Real connection requires honest communication. Even when it's messy, even when it's vulnerable. Stop pretending nothing matters. Because everything you're swallowing is silently building walls. Phrase 3, you wouldn't understand. You've lived through things that changed you. Pain, trauma, betrayal, things you've had to process alone. And somewhere along the way, you started believing no one can truly get it. So you stopped sharing. You started assuming people can't hold your truth. And you use that as a reason to keep everyone at arm's length. But here's what happens. You deny others the chance to show up. You preemptively push them away before they ever get a chance to try. Saying you wouldn't understand doesn't just protect you, it isolates you. Yes, not everyone will understand. But some will. And the only way to find them is to let them in. Connection doesn't come from being perfectly understood. It comes from being willing to be seen. Phrase 4, I don't need anyone. This one sounds powerful. Independent. Strong. But often, it's just a shield. Because saying I don't need anyone is often code for I've needed people before, and they let me down. Depending on others makes me feel weak. I'd rather be alone than risk being abandoned. You've learned to meet your own needs, to self-soothe, to survive. And that's admirable. But here's the paradox. Connection requires interdependence, not codependence, not helplessness, but the ability to let someone in even when you're capable of doing it all yourself. Love doesn't thrive in isolation. It thrives in openness. And when you tell the world you don't need anyone, people believe you. You don't have to prove your strength by being emotionally self-sufficient all the time. You're allowed to need. You're allowed to receive. You're allowed to let someone care. Phrase 5, I'm just joking. You make a sarcastic comment, a dig, a subtle jab. And when they react, you smile and say, relax, I'm just joking. But was it a joke? Or was it a hidden truth, masked in humor? This pattern often develops when you're afraid to express needs directly. You don't feel safe showing disappointment. You were punished for speaking your truth openly. So you tuck your real feelings into a joke. But the cost? You create emotional confusion. The people around you don't know when to take you seriously. They don't know what's real. And slowly, they stop engaging emotionally altogether. Connection requires clarity. Not perfection, but honesty. If something bothers you, say it with respect, not sarcasm. Because nothing pushes people away faster than constantly feeling mocked or misunderstood. Phrase 6, I knew this would happen. They let you down. They hurt you. They confirmed your fear. And your first response? I knew it. You say it with finality. With bitterness. With the kind of exhaustion that comes from years of being disappointed. But here's the thing. This phrase doesn't protect you, it proves your wound. It says, I expected to be let down. I never believed this would last. I don't believe in people anymore. And that belief shapes your reality. When you expect the worst, you subconsciously prepare for it. You hold back. You distance. You test. And eventually, you create the exact outcome you feared. Yes, it's okay to be hurt. But don't let your pain turn into prophecy. Healing begins when you say, that hurt. But I still believe connection is possible. Phrase 7, I'm too much. You laugh too loud. You feel too deeply. You cry when no one else does. And somewhere along the way, someone made you believe that your emotions were inconvenient. So now, you edit yourself. You dim your light. You preface every truth with, sorry if this is too much. But here's what you need to hear. You are not too much. You're just in spaces that are too small. When you repeatedly say I'm too much, you teach people that you don't trust your own feelings. You expect rejection. You'll shrink to be accepted. And the more you shrink, the lonelier you feel. Real love doesn't ask you to be less. It meets you in your fullness and stays. Phrase 8, forget it. You start to share something. A thought. A need. A hurt. But halfway through, you pull back. You say, forget it, and change the subject. Why? Because vulnerability felt too risky. Because their face changed. Because a tiny part of you thought, they don't care. So you shut down, again. This is emotional abandonment. Not from them, but from yourself. Every time you silence your truth mid-sentence, you tell your inner child, "What I feel isn't worth hearing." And eventually, you stop trying altogether. But what if the next time you felt that urge, you took a breath and continued? What if instead of saying forget it, you said, "This is hard to say, but I want to try anyway"? That's how intimacy is built, one brave sentence at a time. Phrase 9, I don't care. This one is dangerous. Because it's often a lie. You do care. You care deeply. But caring feels unsafe. So you shut down your tenderness with apathy. You say I don't care before they can leave. Before they can reject you. Before they can see how much it really matters. But pretending not to care doesn't protect you, it isolates you. Love requires presence. Feeling. Emotion. And the most courageous thing you can do is say, I care. I don't always know how to show it, but I do. Because saying you don't care when you do pushes people away before they ever get a chance to stay. Closing thoughts. So many of these phrases come from one place: fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of being rejected. Fear of repeating the same pain. But here's the thing. Your fear doesn't make you unworthy. Your defense mechanisms don't make you unlovable. They just make you human, trying to stay safe in a world that hasn't always been kind. But you don't have to keep living from survival. You can learn to speak softer truths. You can learn to sit with discomfort. You can learn to let love in, even when it's scary. Start with this. Replace "I'm fine" with "I'm feeling a little off today." Replace "forget it" with "I still want to talk about this." Replace "I don't need anyone" with "I'm learning to let people in." And watch what happens. Watch how people show up when you stop pushing them away. You don't need perfect words. You just need honest ones. Which of these phrases do you catch yourself saying the most? Let's talk in the comments. You're not the only one working through this. If this video helped you understand yourself better, please share it with someone who needs to hear it too. And if you're ready to break free from fear-based habits and speak from truth, subscribe. This podcast is about growing together, healing louder, and finally, speaking the love you deserve to feel.